Hi, everyone. My name is Faizan. I am the co-founder and CEO of Roll, and we will show you a little bit about Roll and what it does. So this is my third startup, and prior to this, I was VP product at Box for 5 years. And I've always been close to images and media and creativity. Put myself through college by being your local video editing, logo making, website making person, and was obsessed enough with creative tools that my first startup, I started it out of Pakistan in 2007, and Adobe invested in it. And then I moved here to kind of set up the HQ here. So what we basically do is we saw this scenario while Michelle and I were at a Box where in marketing, video is today the most important currency, right? While I was at Box, I noticed that video was the fastest growing file format, which is counterintuitive because if you're serving Fortune 500, you would assume it's PDFs or Word docs, right? So we saw this scenario where there are a bunch of use cases where you would spend money hiring a video production company, right? So for example, let's say today, if you wanted to have a really high quality video production for this event, we might end up spending anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000, and the people who would show up with enough gear to fill up this room. So for a high production quality, you probably would not be able to do it in a room this size. So what we do is we enable super high quality video production using just AI and phones. So you don't need a camera gear, you don't need a video specialist, and we will create videos that look like super high production quality. And with that, I will hand off to my co-founder, Michelle.
And all of us are being recorded in this room through these folks.
Thanks, Faizan. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle O, and I'm another co-founder of Roll. I used to work with Faizan at Box. I was the director of product before this, before I decided to jump ship with him and start Roll. So super excited to show you all a little bit of our tech. And you might recognize the people on this screen. This is what happens when you're a startup. You create your own intro videos. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of our technology and how we're actually using iPhone footage to actually create production grade videos. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with video, what does that actually mean? Like when you hire a video production agency and you spend like 50 to 100 grand, what are you actually getting? So this is going to give you a really quick tutorial on what that actually means. So I'll talk through this. So basically, we are on a Zoom call, and in just a second, it'll switch from Zoom to actually our app, Roll. So this is Zoom, and now this is Roll. So you'll see a couple high production techniques. What we're doing is actually showing multicam. So as an example, what multicam is when you hire multiple camera folks, you're actually hiring multiple cameras in a professional shoot. So as an example, wide shot to show the scene, and then a close-up shot to actually show the person's face. So with Roll, with one iPhone, we actually give you a wide shot as well as a close-up shot using actually just one phone. We're using multiple cameras on the phone at once. On top of that, expensive shoots have dollies or sliders to add motion to a scene. And then what we've actually done is this is entirely done creating AI. So we do AI simulated camera movements, where again, the phone is just sitting there on a tripod, and this is actually done in post. So what we've done on the AI side is we've actually recreated your entire room in 3D space to actually move a virtual camera around. So again, all done with AI. And then on top of that, we also do AI editing and post as well, but yeah. So that's a quick demo.
So basically, our journey started by us observing this use case as the people who the video production crew is shooting. So like Michelle is announcing Slack integration, and there is a high production shoot, or we did a Google integration and we have a high production shoot, right? So we announced the product last year. We launched #1 in photo and video on a product hunt. And then since then, 40,000 videos have been recorded on Roll. And we've started focusing on these enterprise use cases. So we have like 4 modules: customer testimonials. You're interviewing a customer remotely, and you don't want to send a video production crew. You ask that person to join on Meet, just like they join in a browser. Then they add their phone call, and you would get a really professional customer testimonial out of it. You do webinars, fire chats, and we have a new module for events, which is what is being used to record this right now. So that's a little bit about Roll, and I will share a little bit about how this time I was, I was at Box for 5 years while thinking about kind of the idea of what I wanted to do next. So here are some of the filters that I applied, and I have some kind of I would say mantras that might be counterintuitive. So we've heard a lot that AI is the biggest shift in technology, like a new cloud, like a technology wave, like we saw with cloud and we saw with mobile. So historically, what that has meant is it's a golden opportunities for startups, golden opportunities for investors. I'll give you a counter view on that. I think it's less of that than we think. I think it's less of an opportunity for startups than we think. I think it's less of an opportunity for VCs than we think. I predict that 90% of AI companies will not be worth much a few years from now. Right? And I'll tell you why. When cloud happened, it's something that's not incumbent friendly. It's something that a new person, a new startup coming in can disrupt the incumbent, and the incumbent takes a lot of time to respond. So when cloud happens, you go and say, hey, you know what? There's Google Docs, there's Gmail. The whole thing has to be rewritten. So Microsoft Office takes 10 years to respond. Why? Because everything has to be rewritten from scratch, and hence the incumbent is at a loss. And the company that's new, that's innovating, that's starting from scratch has time to build up something faster than the incumbent, right? When mobile happens, there is an opportunity for Instagram. Why? Because it will take about 10 years till you get Adobe Photoshop on your phone. Why? Because the whole technology stack has to be rewritten. That same app cannot be used. Over here, generative AI is available in Microsoft Office. Gemini is available in G Suite. The incumbents actually have found it easy because it is a cloud API to integrate and use it. One. Two, every single time that a startup, usually startups have a cost advantage. Usually you try a new idea and you are doing something that is cheaper. With generative AI, everybody is using the same APIs. And bad news for startups, the incumbents have a lot of money to spend on generative AI APIs. And the startup doesn't. The startup usually runs out of money sooner and has to show a bigger return on using those generative AI APIs if they're expensive, right? So those were, I think, like two of the things that informed me. So while I was at Box, what I was thinking of was, if there is a business idea that I'm working on and I close my eyes and I try to imagine, can this be an API by AWS or Azure? And whatever I do should not be. Because if it can be, then it sure as hell will be. And then that startup is probably not the right kind of idea to target. So what we target here is, so the reason when we launched, so if you look at our website today, it won't say anything about customer testimonials or the modules that you're seeing right now, because we need really, really specific data shot with phones in a particular way. That is only done by our app. So now we have 40,000 videos of that kind. And when we use generative AI, we're not using generative AI to create a fake person. It's not like, hey, this is somebody this is a fake mala. That is not the real mala. But what you're saying is, what we're faking is the gear and the expertise. So it's just that the camera is being replaced by a very expensive camera, and the microphone is being replaced by a very expensive by a very expensive microphone. So I think that when we think of ideas that we should target, the way that I would encourage you to think about it is that the incumbents can move very, very fast. So ideas where you are doing things which you have a very good, solid reasoning. So I've obviously been in the creative space. I've seen Adobe, I've seen Canva. So what we're trying to do is kind of like Canva for video production. We're like, hey, marketing people, event managers, you're enabled to do really high quality video production without needing specialized gear. Yeah, thank you.